we've had motorcycles for more than 100 years. Roads for more than 6,000. But the spirit of adventure, we've had that forever.
Thank you for watching Superbike Queen. Today we are here at Dubai Autodrome with Furiosa Racing, and I'm gonna get one-on-one coaching session on the track.
You're watching Superbike Queen. My name is Boyter, and welcome to the Furiosa Racing Track Academy based here at Dubai Autodrome. We're here to learn how to be a better rider both on the road but on the track, learning the cornering abilities to make you a smoother and faster rider. So, like anything involved in motorsport is dangerous, so safety is paramount. So, quick riding reminders with safety in mind. This class has got a mixed group of riders with different abilities, different bike configurations, different speed levels. So everybody's got to be patient with each other. Never overtaking corners, give everybody space, everybody's here to learn. No weaving on track to warm up tires, because it never works. Never stop on track. You should only be stopping on track if you have a technical problem or you've run out of talent and you're upside down. Any other reason, you come back here. If you do find yourself on track or you've got a technical problem, raise a hand, raise a leg, let people behind you know that there's an issue and you're leaving the track. When you do leave the track, first priority is to get yourself to safety. Never remove your helmet. If you can put the bike in a safe place and get yourself to the other side of the Armco where it's safe. Also, when entering pit lane, it's the same process, raise an arm, raise a leg, let people know that you're exiting the circuit. The Dubai Autodrome's got several circuit configurations. We've got the full Grand Prix configuration, which is the largest one of the lot, the international one. The international circuit, which is the red part and the blue part linked together. The national circuit, which is the red part and the green part linked together. There's the club circuit, which isn't actually mentioned here. And the hill circuit is where we are today. Now the hill circuit doesn't run past the main pits. It runs through porta cabins at the very end here, which is fantastic for a school environment because we can just get out of these classrooms and straight onto the track. We don't have to run through pit lanes, speed limits, etc., etc. So this is going to be our little training configuration for today. So to help you on track, to help you get visual references, we've placed cones all the way around the track. And they're color-coded. So red is a braking marker, which is an indication of when you need to start slowing down. Blue is your turning marker. We release the brakes and turn in towards the apex, which is the yellow marker, which is generally the middle of the corner, because at that middle of the corner you can then start picking the bike up and getting back on the gas again. Now in two places in this circuit we've added green codes, which is an exit marker. And this is purely as a visual reference for something to look at when you come out, and they're on the straights. So when you come around the management building corner, it's just a guide to get you to the right part of the track for the long straight. And it's the same for coming onto the main straight where we are sitting here right now. When you come around there, it's a guide to get you to the right side of the track. All these cones are a guide, and they're a reference of things to hook up to. So in an ideal situation, you want to be following all these cones with your eyes as you go around the circuit, which sounds very easy, but in reality it's not. You get distracted, you get panicky, you miss markers. It takes a little while to get an understanding of a visual reference. But if you can go around here following all these reference marks, your braking, your turn-in, your apex, the next turn-in, you'll find a flow and a rhythm. And when you get to flow and a rhythm, speed just comes as a byproduct. The smoother you are on a bike and allowing the bike and the suspension and the tires to do what it's designed to do without too much human input, the bike's going to handle better, which means you're going to run faster. And you're going to stay more relaxed. Obviously, we've got coaches on track. We're here to help you. We're here to teach you. You can tell by what we are in the back. For this session here, there's myself and there's another coach on track as well. So we're there to help you and watch you on track. There is flags. The only way race control, who's got cameras all the way around the circuit, looking at everything that's going on track, the only way they can communicate with us on track is with flags. So if you see a yellow flag, slow down, no overtaking. There's an incident on track which could cause a problem, but it hasn't developed one. Just be cautious. It's generally a rider's run wide, they've gone off the circuit, they may be rejoining. It's not an issue yet, but it's something to be cautious with. Red, there is an issue. Whatever the problem is on track, the session needs to stop so the marshals can go out and rectify the problem, and then the session can restart. That doesn't necessarily mean there's a bike blown up or somebody's crashed. It could be something, generally is, something like a cone has been knocked onto the track, one of the marker cones, and it just needs to be put back in its original position because it's an unsafe place. And the checkered flag is the end of session. So when you see the checkered flag, it's safer just to acknowledge the flag and have a cool down lap, cool the bike down, cool your body down, start to relax, come in. Obviously with helmets, we've got microphones for the filming, but we don't have microphones to talk to each other on the circuit. So we try and use hand signals to aid you when you're out there. Now if we tap the back of the bike, it generally means follow us. As close as we can, we want to show you where you need to be on track, the correct positioning to be on track. It's purely a positioning thing. If we're tapping under the chin or we're pointing like that, look forward. When people are cautious, nervous, new starts, vision seems to be down here, and you don't take up the entire scenery in front of you. So you tend to weave, and concentrating on the ground in front of you is a lot harder than concentrating it up. If we're pointing to the ground, you've seen me do this before, pointing at markers, it's generally pointing to, that's your marker, make sure you hit it, there's your turn-in marker. It's a point of reference of where you should be. Hand signals. If we do that, whatever it is we're trying to explain to you, we can't do it with hand signals. We just want you to stop in front of the pits, have a quick 10-second discussion of what it is we're trying to communicate, and then we go straight back out again. It doesn't mean you're in trouble. It's just purely, we want to make sure you're not wasting your session and learn what it is we're trying to teach you. We start flapping our hands like this, calm down, slow down, relax. People get a bit excited, a bit overconfident, and generally when you get overconfident, the next thing is what we mentioned before, where your reasons for stopping on the track and it's not technical. You're beetling around the back of what happened there. We see it coming, slow down, calm down. It's a school. And if we see flapping elbows, making like a chicken, relax. Now, when you're going around a corner, a good self-test is to try and move your elbows. If you find that you can't move your elbows, you're too tense on the bike. You're turning in at an angle. When the bike is turned, the front wheel is slightly oscillating. It's tracking the asphalt, looking for grip. And And at the same time, your suspension is doing what it's supposed to do. It's moving up and down, absorbing all the bumps. When you're tight on the bars and your arms are rigid, that slight oscillation is now moving into your body. It's not allowing the bike to track the bumps, it just runs you wide. So a good self-check is, can I move my arms at learner speed that we're doing right now? Am I relaxed enough? And if you can't do that, then you're too tense. Just learn to relax. And this works on track, on road, just relax. Getting into a corner, using the reference point, we've got a braking marker, we've got a turn-in point, we've got an apex, yeah? So how can we speed up this process? Now, in an idle situation, we need that space to brake safely, yeah? It's this space here that we can reduce. Because as you get off the brakes and you turn in, that is slowly getting the bike into the corner, and then once it's in the corner, we'll balance the throttle to get some weight off the front end, not so we're accelerating, but just so it's balanced so we can get to the apex point. So the way to reduce this is to get the bike from upright to lean faster. And the way we can do this is by counter steering. You understand what counter steering is? No. You learned this as soon as you were riding bikes. Basically, if you want to turn right, you're pushing the right bar away from you, which folds the bike onto the curvature of the tire and rolls the bike in. Same if you want to go the other way, you push that way. You don't do that. You actually push that, because you're moving slightly, right? So if we can get the bike turned faster, the turning point can move further forward towards the corner. And if we move the turning point forward, we can move the braking marker forward. So everything shifts forward. So you're traveling down the straight at a faster speed, at a longer speed. And the space of the corner has been reduced just by getting the bike into the turn faster. Now the way to practice this is by going out literally on the straight and just pushing the bar to understand what it does. And then having the confidence to slowly push it harder and harder to get the bike into the turn. And that's what these are first and foremost for. It's your guide to stop pushing. You have your knee ready, you push in the bar, it comes down, that touches the tarmac, it's an instant guide, this is where I need to be. So you're always getting the same place all the time. But it's important when you get the bike into the turn that you get the bike back in a balanced position. So you push the bars, the bike goes in the turn, you get back on the throttle, and you just crack it enough so you're balancing it. You're getting the weight from the front end up to a 50-50 balance point again, so the bike will track a corner in an ideal situation in a perfect circle. The more you decelerate, the more weight you're putting on that front tire, so you're reducing the grip level. If you have too much gas, it will come up and you'll run the bike wide. So, we've had our session, we've gone out, we followed all the cones. I watched you go by yourself and look at it, and I noticed as soon as you didn't have a reference of me in front of you, one positive point is you were following all the markers. But one negative point is you were following them verbatim and not looking at the bigger picture. Now, as we said at the start, these are a guide. They're a guide as a reference. Now, you're on an R7, I'm on a BMW, huge amounts of difference in bikes in capability, speed, braking, etc. So, if we were going fast down that straight, I'm likely going to have to brake earlier than you will because I'm carrying a lot more speed. So there is a guide. The speed we're doing here, the turning point we have is actually too early for us. And when you turn early, you end up hitting the apex earlier, which means you're running wide on the circuit. Now you notice when I went in front of you, I pointed at the place where we could be turning in, which is going to match our speed, which is actually the 100 meter at the turning board. And you turn in here and it picks up the apex early. Did you notice how it just perfectly changed? So it's all about having these markers as a guide, but then using them as a base reference to where you need to be, okay? You might find that you need to brake later. You might find that you need to turn earlier. It's got to be adjusted to suit what's going to suit you. Now, same, not so much here, well, a little bit here, but more in here. When you've got a longer straight, we've put, if you recall, we put these marker cones, these exit marker cones, just to pull you to the right side of the track. And this isn't an issue, but you tend to be hugging the outside of the track instead of opening up and looking where the next cone is, which is here. So if you were going to draw a straight edge from there, you're outside, inside, outside of the track. So you can use, the track's 12 meters long. It's huge. So same with these little lines here. Now you come into the outside, it's almost a straight line. You can come into the inside to angle you to pick up that turning marker and that apex. So it's a straight line all the way through it, which is going to be the fastest way through the corner. So you're not leaning the bike as much through it. So although the cones are there, you've got to look at the bigger picture. Look at the track as a whole, as opposed to just the next cone that's in front of you. But yes, you've got to match them up and look at everything else. It's a technique which is learned to find markers.
Don't go straight from green to blue.
You can, but if you go straight to blue, it actually puts you here. And if you've got to come here to get the angle that way. You can go straight to there, but it puts you out here. And you're also in a dirty part of the circuit. Because you also got to think the circuit has got not the ideal line, but the most common racing line through it. So all the rubber and the good traction is through that part of the circuit, and this is all dusty. And bits of rubber and not the most grippiest part of the circuit. So, we're going to go out again, and we're going to look at how you can move your markers back and forth. And what we might do is, I can show you what would happen if you turned in too late, what would happen if you turned in too early. You can move it around to see what the difference is and the effect, the cause and effect of doing it. And then we'll try something else after that. We've learned about cones, we've learned about markers, where we need to be on the track, ideal position, where markers are going to help you have a better line through the corners. We've started understanding what counter steering is and how to get the bike onto its side faster. So far, we've managed to get the markers sorted out and an understanding of how to get to the apex point of the corner. What we've not talked about is getting out of the corner. So, very simple terms, getting out of the corner is the exact opposite of getting into the corner. Using the same counter steering method, where you're pushing the opposite bar to get the bike back onto an upright position, but as it comes up, you can feed in throttle as you go. Now, the more lean you have, the less contact pass you have in the tire, and the less throttle you can use before there's a an issue with either the front tire or the back tire losing traction. As the bike comes up, it goes in the fatter part of the tire, which means you can apply more gas to keep the traction there. If you try and apply the gas when you're at full lean angle, back tire is going to break traction, your day is probably going to be over. Likewise, we're braking into the corner. You've got to think about the traction and the contact patch off that tire. So as the bike comes out of the corner, you're counter steering the bike back up, and at the same time, you're applying gas. So when the bike is completely upright, you're already at full gas. That's the idea. More lead angle, less gas, upright, full gas. It's a balance of both. You've also got to think about throttle control in a corner, because if you get in the gas too sharpish and too quick, the bike will start to run wide because you've got an exit reference point to look at. So there is also a balance of picking the bike up and applying the right throttle to keep the same line at the same time. That's also a balancing point which takes a bit of practice as well. We've done a couple of sessions now. You're getting comfortable.
Yes.
I can see you're comfortable in the bike. So I'm actually looking at where your markers are and where you're turning in, and you're actually picking up the apexes really well, which is good.
Good to know.
So next thing we need to do is concentrate on moving our braking marker. Because at the moment, we're gradual, we're just squeezing on the brakes, we're slowing down gradually, getting to the turn point and moving in, right? It's nice and easy. So for the next session, now we've got a bit more confidence, let's move this braking marker slightly forward and then brake harder.
Actually, I never use brakes.
There you go.
Is it okay?
That's fine. I mean,
I was just slowing with the gears.
By not. I mean, as I said, we were.
We were not that fast.
No, not at all. Which is good because it gives you an idea of throttle control of when the bike needs to be turning in. So there is a skill that we can use where we can do third gear, no brakes to do the whole circuit, and it gives you an idea of guidance of speed when you need to come into a corner or not.
Yeah.
So what you're doing is it's not an issue. But let's start braking. Okay. So we can move this braking marker further and reduce this up. Now when you brake, if you use your arms, force your arms onto the handlebars, you've got all this movement, all this weight up above, forcing down on the bars. So your weight transfer is coming from higher up in your body and forcing down on the forks. And also, it's back to what we said about corners where your arms are locked. The front wheel's not tracking properly, the suspension's not doing what it needs to be doing because you're now forcing it down, right?
Yeah.
You've got these in your leathers too. Nip the tank. So when you stop braking, use your knees to squeeze the tank to support your body from moving forward. The weight transfer happens at a lower center of gravity, so the bike will be slightly more stable under the brakes. It also gives you that dexterity to hold on to the bars, to use the clutch, to change down the gears, and get set up on the brakes ready for the turn.
For the braking, I should use the foot brake and hand
Never
brake
use the foot brake.
Same time?
Never use the foot brake.
Never use the...
Nope. For track in general, especially at this level, and even at novice intermediate track days, your rear brake is your emergency brake. If your front brakes fail, that's when you use it.
Oh.
That's it.
Okay.
Because if you actually look at bike racing at a higher level, MotoGP, Superbikes, etc., when they're braking, you can see air between the back wheel and the tarmac. So if you apply the back brake, it's not going to do anything. The wheel's in the air. And you've got two 320mm braking discs at the front and a very small one at the back. So just by visually looking at it, all your braking force happens on the front wheel where the bigger discs are. Your back brake, don't worry about it. It's not a concern. It's there if you need it in an emergency. So everything happens on your front brake. Okay? So we're going down the straight, we're seeing the braking point. When we get to it, squeeze the tank, get on the brakes. And try and leave your arms relaxed and flexible, so you've got the dexterity to use the maneuvers getting ready for the turn. Okay? You're going to get sore legs with this one. It's going to be nipping the inside of your thighs until your body gets used to it.
It's okay, I train my legs a lot.
Perfect. So that's the next one. And remember, just relax, smooth, your own pace. Okay? Let's do it. So thanks for tuning in. I hope you've now got a little insight of what the Furiosa Racing track school is all about. If you want to participate in level 1, 2 and 3 or even get private one-to-one coaching on their track days, go to furiosaRacing.com or on their Facebook page or on Instagram.
Thank you for watching Superbike Queen. Like this video and don't forget to subscribe our channel and turn the notification bell on. See you in the next one.